who is also a member of our KZN team. So thank you for being here. Welcome to you as well. Without much further ado, the order of this morning is going to be very straightforward, very simple. We try to keep these things crisp so that we can have one-on-one engagements afterwards. I'm going to start with the National Chairperson, Mr. Michael Beaumont, who will give us some context as to why we're here. He will be followed by the President of our organization, Mr. Herman Mashaba, who will make the announcement. And then that one who is announced will make his own or her own remarks. And then we will do a vote of thanks. Thank you very much, Mr. Michael Beaumont.
Thank you very much, Lorato, and let me add my greetings to members of the media, South Africans who are following these important proceedings from home, members of Action SA present and online. Greetings to you all. It's a very exciting occasion. I do want to say, as a child that grew up in this province, this is a very important moment for me personally. I know this province very well. I have travelled the length and breadth of it in my political career, and I think I, more than most, appreciate how important political leadership is in this province. We are embarking upon an election campaign where Action SA is very clearly positioning itself as the first viable national alternative that has taken place in all 9 provinces of our country. And I just want to dwell on that for a moment, because I think in many ways the reason why we have 27 million South Africans who have checked out of our political system, despite the challenges of unemployment, crime, load shedding, and a public service that is failing them, is ultimately because people feel that there's not been an alternative of a national nature. And I think that is the ground that Action SA is disrupting, and it is a ground that we are disrupting in diverse communities. You will see Action SA doubling and tripling its support to 23-25% in the townships and the informal settlements of South Africa in by-elections. And most recently, you've seen it in the suburbs of Centurion. And a little bit closer to home, you've seen it in KwaZulu-Natal, a place where new political parties do not venture, and yet Action SA did and achieved 10.2% in its first outing. And much of that is credit to the team of people that has been working in this province, and I pay tribute to them now, but also to the individual who we will be pronouncing very shortly, and the leadership that is provided by that individual to this province. And I think ultimately what is to say is that our Senate has convened an electoral college. As an organization, we are run by democratic institutions. Our Senate convened an electoral college and considered the issue of the KZN Premier candidate, as we have already with the Northwest and the Northern Cape. And it has voiced the importance of having strong Premier candidates. We know that our system may be a party system on the ballot paper, but that ultimately South Africans understand how important strong political leadership is, and that we need strong leaders who we put forward to the electorate long in advance of an election, so that they can run a campaign and you can get to see whether this is the kind of leader that can turn a province around. And from our perspective, the choice that we have made, we believe, most fundamentally creates a compelling case for how KZN can be fixed, and we can begin the work of fixing this province that is so desperately in need of service delivery and ethical leadership. But from my side, I hand over the announcement to our President and invite him to take over from here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Lerato, and good morning, fellow South Africans watching from home and offices, and thank you to members of the media for always covering our events, because our events are important for the future of our country. Let me just give you a little bit of background of our party for those who might not know, and I think it's important to keep reminding people, because it's our nature that we easily forget. Action SA is a party born out of engaging South Africans through a groundbreaking initiative called the People's Dialogue, launched on the 6th of December 2019. Over a period of 3 months, we managed to really scientifically get 2.4 million South Africans who gave us a mandate to start this political party, eventually launching it on the 28th of August 2020, right in the middle of COVID. 7 core values were agreed by the 2.4 million South Africans. Action SA, without any doubt, and we're not apologizing to anyone, with an unracial. We want to build an unracial South Africa. The South Africa that I voted for on the 27th of April 1994, which Archbishop Desmond Tutu termed the Rainbow Nation. We are saying as Action SA, that's a kind of South Africa we want to build for future generations. We want to pursue a free market-based policies where we can allow the private sector to be the one creating jobs for our people, or allow our people to work where they want to work. Government's role is to create a conducive environment for businesses to operate, more especially and importantly, SMMEs. As much as yes, we want to build an unracial South Africa, we are for free market economy. But one thing for sure, our party is based on social justice. That is why a lot of people get confused. What is Mashaba's political ideology? I'm not about political ideology. I am about the lived experience of South Africans. And it's not something that is shared by Herman Mashaba. It's something that is shared by 2.4 million South Africans who got us to start this political party and gave us a mandate to be a pro-poor government. But that does not mean when we say we are a pro-poor government, we forget about other South Africans who are going to make or enable us to make sure that we can provide services to the poor. We are not going to be the party that is going to apologize about directing services to the poor people. But we will work with those with the means to assist us in ensuring that we can build a strong middle class in South Africa. With a party that believes in ethical leadership. Leadership for me is crucial. I think I just want to make it clear to you, members of the media and fellow South Africans, I want to declare as number one person in this party that I'm not here for friendship. I'm here to serve my country. I strongly believe in friendship, but I'm not doing this job to make friends. If you want to make friends, go to a very popular shebeen in Saxon World in Johannesburg and make friendship there, not here. So here it's about leadership, and in the process we'll build friendship. We believe in providing the best education ever in this country. There's just no way we can build our economy when we don't provide good education. In a country where 80% of public schools are dysfunctional, I don't know if some of you saw my article yesterday, really expressing my concern with the Minister of Finance reducing funding for ECD centers. In a country where just recently studies were published where the grade 10s in this country cannot read for meaning. And you reduce the funding for that. So I think we believe it is criminal, it is evil for any government not to want to really produce the best ever. We believe in the rule of law. We cannot have a situation where 80 people are being murdered every single day, in a country where every 30 seconds there's a woman being raped, in a country where our borders are open and our sovereignty as a country is compromised. We've got our kids every single day dying from being sold counterfeits, expired goods. Live in a country where drug cartels, international drug cartels, are brought into this country to come and destroy our youth, and then in the process destroy our families. I don't want to live in a society like that. I don't want to live in a society where politicians can steal public monies with absolute impunity. We need to make sure that I think we bring back the rule of law. We must believe in our banks. We cannot have a situation where we've got a president of the country putting money under mattresses. When we have effective the banking system. We believe in the electoral system. We really, as Action SA, we want to work towards one day where South Africans can have the opportunity to elect the president of the country direct, elect the premiers direct, to mayors direct, including actually law enforcement, the leaders of law enforcement agencies, not currently where we see the president is responsible for that. So 2021, a year later after our launch, we participated in 6 municipalities out of 278, IEC playing a crucial role in trying to sabotage us. 550,000 people in the 6 municipalities voted us into power, into government, emerging as the 6th biggest political party in the country. We are now officially the 6th biggest political party. In fact, if one looks at the 9 by-elections we participated in, we must be close to the 4th the biggest party in the country. If one looks at the real numbers, not the polls that we see every day, propaganda. As you judge us by real numbers, you can go into the IEC website. The whole of 2022, we focus as a party on the establishment of national structures, because we made a commitment to South Africans that come 2024, we are going to be ready to contest all 9 provinces. As I'm talking to you right now, Action SA has got 9 provincial chairpersons. Action SA is launching branches. As I'm talking to you right now, as of last week, we've already covered launched branches in roughly 35% of the wards throughout the country. And we're working towards ensuring that by the time we get to 2024 elections, we've at least covered 60%. Tall order, but possible. It will require all of us as South Africans to really work hard. So we've just come out of very successful, another groundbreaking policy conference. I'm really extremely, immensely proud of the 3 days of having just over 600 delegates coming from across the country. We spent 3 days together. We opened our session throughout to the media to witness how political parties are run in an open, transparent fashion. Came out with policies. Oh my goodness, I left the booklet on our policies. I'll make it available. I'll actually go and grab it from the car for you as the media, or you can visit our website. You look at the kind of policies that we have adopted. Now, what's important for us is to announce premier candidates as we build towards 2024. We've already had a pleasure to announce the 2. The first one was Kgosi Kwena Mangope for the Northwest. He's already hit the ground running. Fantastic South African. I'm proud to really be associated with. Last month we announced Andrew Law representing us in the Northern Cape. Now today we are here in KZN to announce someone that I hold in the highest esteem, someone I had the privilege to work with in the past, someone whose commitment to public service is beyond measure. His hard work, without any doubt, is contagious. Someone who bravely took on the government of KZN at provincial level, at local government level. I don't know if you guys are aware, South Africa, that Action SA has got only 4 councillors in eThekwini municipality. We are not represented in the province. But if you follow media the last 6 months or 9 months, we are the official opposition, not only at the eThekwini level, at the provincial level. No one can doubt that. Ever since Action SA came into play and started our role as an opposition, we are dominating and holding government accountable. The whole issue of the sewer in our beaches last year and even right now. The question of the summer issue, where almost over 28 million of public monies nearly disappeared. This fellow South African actually stopped that. So, fellow South Africans and members of the media, it gives me a great pleasure to immensely announce Mr. Zwakele Mncwango as Action SA Premier candidate to shake up the province of KwaZulu-Natal. Really very proud of this brother. Very proud of this man. And I really and truly to believe in his ability to shake up things, not only for people of KZN, but for people of South Africa. In closing, Mr. Mncwango, I'd like to really give you the marching orders. Because that's how I operate. Because if you don't operate on the basis of heavy marching orders, people get confused of what they need to do. Fellow South Africans and people of KZN, you're aware we've just lost really one of prominent leaders of our country, Prince Buthelezi. And I believe, and we believe as Action SA, we don't want his memory to be forgotten. I therefore, on behalf of Senate, want to really give you the marching orders, and you've already committed to this. The first order of business is to work towards the removal of ANC in this province. That's the first order of business that you've got to do. Secondly, please mobilize other political parties to support you to ensure that the provincial government is moved to Ulundi in honor of Prince Buthelezi. If you can get other political parties that are aware of the need to honor Prince Buthelezi, please work towards that. Put this motion in every available platform to ensure that that happens. Lastly, and I heard you loudly, and on behalf of Senate, we want you to, at the next sitting of eThekwini municipality, you and your team come out with a motion where eThekwini Metro must be changed and named after Prince Buthelezi. That's the only way that I believe we can really be serious. People, the politicians, not only honor those who belong to other political parties. Prince Buthelezi was never a member or associated with Action SA, but for us as Action SA, we recognize the role that is played, and we have to fight to ensure that we can mobilize other like-minded political parties to work with us in achieving those objectives. Thank you so much. Congratulations. I can't wait for the 2024 elections. I'm going to be watching them very closely as one voting station comes out, and everywhere you're going to see Action SA. If people thought we caused a stay in 2021, wait until 2024. Thank you so much. The floor is yours.
Do I need the mic?
Yeah.
It's for our live stream.
Oh.
Yeah, fine, we've got it.
Thank you, President Herman Mashaba, and thank you for having faith in me and confidence in me. And I want to greet national leadership led by National Chairperson, as well the PEC members that are here with us today, and all senators and the members of the media and the police. I can see there's a police at the door. We are safe. Thank you, everyone, and I really humbly accept this job you are giving me. I always say I don't really enjoy politics, I must say, but I do it because I love this country. And it's for that reason, in 2022, I took a conscious decision to leave my profession as an electrical engineer to come and do this dirty work, because I felt if I don't do it, who will do it? Because somehow someone must save this country. And it's for that reason we are here today. And I'm really humbled with this task given to me. I joined Action SA a little year ago, and I must say, when I joined, all parties obviously, as a new party, there were challenges, and I asked myself if it's the right decision, etc. But you had faith in me, and I must say, we have a strong team. We have a PEC that work with us. I also have a secretariat. Because people always ask, why is always Zwakele alone? Where is everyone else? There's PC members there. They are all PC members. I've got Zanele there, who's secretary of the province. So people mustn't think I'm just by myself in this province. I've got a strong team behind me. Whenever you see what I do, you must know there's a strong team behind me. I'm not just by myself. And I can tell right now, we have managed to work in all regions in the province. We have a footprint in all 11 regions. We have already now 79 branches throughout the province. As Herman said earlier, we had a by-election in Wanongo. The only by-election we were able to contest. Again, it was a matter of testing the ground, and we were able to come up with 10.2%. And we were able to beat parties like your EFF, your NFP. We became third in that by-election, where we even beating the ANC in some of the VDs. For me, it shows that this is a party that resonates with all South Africans. So we are really growing nicely and steadily. But I always say we are cruising. As someone is cruising, there are challenges, but we overcome those challenges. Herman did say we have been seen as an official opposition, but I always say we are an effective opposition. Because there are other big opposition in legislature, in council. They are bigger in numbers, but they've got no idea what is needed to become an effective opposition. I think you'll recall the examples of eThekwini, for example, where we were able to expose corruption and prevent irregular expenditure that was going to be incurred on an ANC Women's Day conference. And I can tell you, colleagues here in the media, we will continue fighting that issue. The Speaker can't decide on the future of that report he's hiding. We ask for investigation. We have a right to access that report, and we believe that we will keep fighting and we'll get it. Even if it means right now we are busy with the PIA Act application to access that report, we believe the public need to know what happened there. We have ensured that also we forced the municipality to do what it's supposed to be doing. Herman did mention the issue of sewer crisis in eThekwini. It's unfortunate that we had to go to court to force the city to do what it's supposed to be doing in terms of the constitution of this country. But we are now in court with them. It was also Action SA that decided to put pressure on the Department of Education on the issue of nutrition tender. You will remember, all of you, what happened there. It was this party, although it was outside legislature, but we were able to push the government to even cancel that tender and do the right thing so that our learners can get food in schools. It was also that was able to put pressure to ensure that 480 learners in Mzumkulu Korean Primary School are back in class. After 3 months of no teaching and learning in school, it was Action SA without having a single legislature. It is this Action SA that is able to stop looting of public funds on summers. And I must say on record, we did what we did not because we are against or we are against a creative industry. I kept saying on record, as Action SA, we support summer award, but we never support looting. If government came back and gave summers what they asked initially, we would have supported that because we do believe that they contribute to our economy in KZN. But there was no way we can ignore the fact that they were trying to steal public funds. So I must say to all of you, this task I'm being given means we need to be on the ground, means things need to change. There should be a focus of Action SA's government. So if Action SA government take over, there are specific areas of focus. For now, I'll just mention a few. As time goes by, we'll come up with a manifesto which detail exactly how we will do some of the things. Firstly, as Action SA in this province, we said our priority will be quality education for all South Africans. Education is very, very important. We will ensure that there is quality healthcare. And I think it's important to underline when I refer to quality education and quality healthcare. We'll ensure there's good governance and we fight against corruption. We'll ensure there's economic prosperity and justice. We'll deal decisively with the issue of high rate of unemployment. We'll fight against crime. And we'll ensure that our communities have access to water and electricity. And we'll also focus on rural development. As you're well aware that our province is mainly rural. So, as a premier of this province, what I will focus mainly is that the government that I will lead must be government that cares. The government that brings hope and meaningful change to our people. But how then we'll do that? When we look at quality education, we need to ensure that there is no gap between rural school and urban school. Currently, we've got dysfunctional system where learners who go to rural school will never have quality education same as those in urban areas. That must come to an end. Every learner must have access to same education but quality education. Action SA under our government in this province will work towards doing away with enforcing politics to our schools. Teachers, management, deputy principals should be employed in these positions because of their capabilities and qualifications, not because you are a member of a political party or a member of a union. This province is currently facing an epidemic of teacher shortages. You can go all over. There's always shortage of teachers. We will ensure that we fill positions. There are so many graduates. And it's a reality that we are facing that if we can't employ teachers, it will affect teaching and learning in our schools. We have to make sure that we give a condition that is conducive, even in rural areas, for professional teachers to go into rural schools. Because currently the conditions are causing even those who are willing to contribute in our progress for 3 months, no teaching and learning for 3 months, the entire term. Those learners lost the entire 3 months. That can't happen under Action SA government. We have to make sure that we work together. But how do we do that? We change culture. So as Action SA in the province, we need to change the culture and values where teachers, if you look back, they used to be respected. You know, when I grew up, when I was young, you will never see, I never thought a teacher drink alcohol. There's a respect teachers were showing to us as learners as well. At the same time, learners were never drinking from teachers. So there were specific culture and values that we used to have. We need to bring that in our schools and ensure that really we are able to work together. But obviously, we need to work with national government and make sure that we restore teacher training and bring back training colleges. How many training colleges in our province we have? There's so many. Why are not utilized? It's a big question. So we need to make sure that we train teachers. We will ensure that we deal decisively with the collapsing food nutrition program. Under Action government, with me as a premier, it will never happen again. We'll definitely find a solution. We'll never allow 900 schools to be closed in this province. The announcement to close schools that are called non-viable schools is really injustice to our poor communities. Because the reason why those schools are being closed, it's mainly because they can't provide quality education. Then parents start to take their own kids to other schools to get quality education. Then you end up having a low intake in local schools. What then happens? You have a challenge where you can't have transport to transport these learners to other schools if you close down another school. So we never allow that. Part of the problem we're facing in schools as well, the rape cases. We have to make sure that our learners are safe in our schools. And safety in our schools will be a priority under our own government as Action SA. There is no way we can allow teachers and learners to be subjected to unsafe environment as it happens right now. We also have to look at quality healthcare system. When we say quality, we mean if I must get same service nomuntu osemhlanga. Why kumele oyemhlanga athole better service as compared to someone oyewahlabisa? That's what we talk about. We'll make sure that our healthcare workers in our province are properly trained and equipped to provide services. But moreover, maintenance of those clinics and schools, and also ensure that our clinics are open 24 hours where possible. Because it doesn't help that our people, when they want to get healthcare services, they struggle at night. So we are saying, where is the demand? We must ensure that we extend time for our clinics. And we must really take care of our underprivileged people. And we must employ top-class healthcare services. And we must ensure that we hire doctors, nurses in our clinics, in our hospitals. Because currently, it is a challenge. When you go to some of the facilities, you find that there's short of staff. But also it motivates. I think it's very important to understand this. It also creates jobs, as we spoke about high employment rate in our province. But at the same time, it motivates those who are working there to know that you are not under stressed. You're not stressed by the work. People are under pressure because of this shortage. We have to maintain that such changes will not occur overnight. We must say that. It will happen, it will take time. It might take 10 years, but I can promise you, in 5 years of government, we will see progress. We don't want to sit here and say, all these things can happen overnight or in 5 years' time. But what I can commit to put of KZN is that within 5 years, there will be progress and visible progress. We need to fight corruption. But how do we fight corruption? We must have good governance. Herman spoke about ethical leadership. As engineers say, the first thing we must start doing, or will be doing in this province, is to ensure that we elect, first of all, members of parliament and legislature. We must ensure that we elect people who have ethics, who understand what it is to be honest and have integrity. Because there is no use to talk about good governance and send criminals to parliament. We must ensure that we put proper vetting on our system. And I'm not here really to nurse egos of individuals. And I want to also say this to Herman next to me. The day he hears that I've done something unethical, he must take me out.
Yeah.
There's a comment I'm making. Because we can't keep shifting people around because we are friends. No, we are not friends in politics. We're just colleagues. We are here to save our country. So criminals must go out, not in this organization. So we must remain transparent and effective government. And it is accountable, and more accountable to the people. But obviously we must ensure we follow the rule of law. We must ensure that our municipalities and government departments have high standard of performance. How we do that, we must make sure that when we do forensic investigations, they must be made public. Recommendations must be implemented. Not this nonsense of having reports being done and hidden under the table. We must make sure that after doing investigations, a recommendation is implemented. But also, we must ensure that this lifestyle audit to be conducted to all politicians and municipal and government officials. Because that's the only way we are able to expose those who are stealing public funds. But also, we must make sure that government entities will not outsource services that can be done internally. We can't be apologetic about our position on insourcing. You know, it doesn't make sense, public works, why outsource maintenance of our schools? To change loops in a school, you must go for a tender. For what? You maintain potholes. Why must go on tender? Our government, when I become a privileged province, will minimize tender system, will only go on tender for critical work that can be done internally. So it's important that if we employ our people as well, we must remember we create more jobs and permanent jobs. You need electricians, you need plumbers internally. You need those who can maintain our roads. So there's no reason why we must outsource. I can talk of security. There is no government building that will never require security at any stage or cleaners at any stage. So why outsource security? Why outsource cleaning services? We will insource, as engineers say. And I must say, part of cleaning and having good governance, we will make sure that corruption is declared enemy number one of our government. Yeah. Because if we don't do that, we're in trouble. Corruption must remain enemy number one of our government. Where political officials must be investigated, and if found to be corrupt, they must go to jail. Jail must be jail. And I must say, whistleblowers will be protected. And I'm very happy that currently, President, even now while you're opposition, but whistleblowers feel safe in giving us information. And even if we're in government, we'll want them to continue doing that, because we'll ensure that we root out corruption and also protect them, because they must remain protected. And I think we've established a track record when it comes to protecting whistleblowers. But I think more importantly as well is the issue of economic prosperity and justice. Economic justice will be a cornerstone of our government. We need to ensure that we prioritize infrastructure development throughout our province. That will be the only way we're also able to connect businesses and consumers. Currently, it's difficult to even travel from Durban to Nongoma, from Durban to Umzinyati. We must make sure our infrastructure is up to standard as government of KwaZulu-Natal, so that we ensure that that connection is able to stimulate economic growth in our province. Because without proper infrastructure, there is no way you can be able to have economic growth. So, we need real empowerment for all South Africans. We are not shy about our position when we are saying, as Action SA, as a premier candidate, I will ensure that we put together a team that will ensure that we grow our township economy. We can't be apologetic about that, but how do we grow economy in our township and rural areas as well? We must ensure that we've got this strong task team between your home affairs, your border management, your law enforcement, where we're able to deal with illegal immigration. We must deal with illegal immigrants. And it's unfortunate, people, when you talk about those who are illegal in our country, they start to refer you as being xenophobic. But we are saying, as Action SA, South Africans first. And we must fix our country, we must fix our province. So how do we do that? It's so shocking when you go to a township now, where you find that illegal immigrants are just taking over our economy. What about people in South Africa? We are saying in KZN, under our leadership, we ensure that we only allow those who are in the country legally, but we can't allow illegal immigrants to dominate our economy in townships. But also, we need to ensure that we develop our people and give them skills by ensuring that we have training centers throughout the province. Because that's the best way you grow economy, by ensuring that it was create jobs, because you must have people in all areas. Right now, for example, if you go to KwaZulu-Natal, you think of a plumber, electrician, it's hard to get someone. It's very hard. We must ensure that we give our young people skills, even in rural areas, so that they are able to employ themselves. We must create an environment where young people are not only looking for jobs, but are able to create jobs. That's what we must do as Action SA government. Metro of eThekwini is a main contributor to our GDP in the province. About 60% of GDP is coming from eThekwini. It's no-brainer that we need to ensure that our beaches are safe. Tourism can boost our economy in eThekwini. That is why currently we are in court, because we believe eThekwini can do well if we open those beaches. It's very important. We are saying, as Action SA, will assist this big metro to ensure that it's coming back to its glory days. It used to be the best place. I was in Port Edward 2 weeks ago. That area used to be the place to visit. Today is shocking. They've got no water. They sewer. I went to the beach and I spoke to the lifeguard. They're telling me last time E. coli was tested there was 2 years ago. But they allow them to swim. They sewer all over the beach, but people are swimming. What kind of government is that? So as Action SA, we'll never allow that to happen. We'll never allow that to happen. We'll also strengthen our support to arts and creative industry under our government through Opportunity Fund. We'll make sure that we support the creative industry. We'll also fight a strong fight against corruption. And I think one must mention that drugs are a real problem in our country. It's a serious problem. And it's one of the priority, President, that we believe as KZN we need to fight against drugs. That is why we believe there should be a unit, not like a TV show, but a real unit. I know that TV show called Zwakele, but we need a unit. Similar to that, exposing busting drugs, but making sure that drug dealers are arrested, because they are actually killing our country. But we must ensure as well that our police officers are equipped to do their work. And it's shocking if I can just mention a few stats. In the province, we lost 21 councillors just in 1 year.
Sure.
21 councillors. I'm talking about this year alone. Not last year, this year, 21 councillors. 103 municipal officials and political officials have been killed in this province. Over 50 threat leaders have been killed over the past 4 years. This is a province at war with each other. Siyalwa nje, angazi bangani, kodwa siyalwa. We're in a fight. There's a war in the province, but a silent war. So if this is not shocking, I'm not sure. That is why we believe that there should be interventions. As Action SA government will ensure that we intervene, will ensure deal with crime decisively. Our stats currently shows that there is 1 out of 120 citizen police officers in this province. We will make sure that we work with national government to make sure that we deploy more police in this province, because police presence on the ground is paramount in fighting crime. Other than that, we'll keep talking about crime, and we are tired of having our police stations being number one when it comes to crime statistics. If you look at Inanda, Umlazi, and Pesleya in Maritzburg, and it was shocking, President, that in Maritzburg the police station have to close before 12 because police are scared of crime. I went there myself. I engaged with the police station. They're closing at 12 because they can't run till late because they're scared of crime. Because apparently criminals come in, they demand guns from the police. What kind of society is that? Can you say that community is safe if police are scared of criminals? Then you've got a problem. So we need to make sure that we hire more police in our province. And we need to ensure that we provide our people with water and electricity. And I was excited, President, that police conference came with a resolution that say we will do away with district. Because we believe municipalities, local municipalities must be empowered to provide water. This Mikli man, with councillors doing nothing, adding a salary on a district level, is a waste of money. That money should go to services. We need to make sure that our communities get water. The Human Rights Commission just released a report showing that in our province, people have no water. And the question is clear. People must have access to clean water and sufficient water, which is not happening. So our government will prioritize provision of water and electricity. There are areas in this province where there's no electricity, but we'll make sure that our people get electricity. We also focus on rural development. So our government will focus on rural development because it's a fact that more than 50% of population in this province reside in rural areas. And we do believe that as Action SA, if we can make sure that there's development in rural areas, you will be able to deal with a lot of issues. Currently in urban areas, there is migration where people leave rural areas to come to urban areas because of opportunities. As Action SA, we are saying, when we get to government, we'll ensure that we develop infrastructure, we give municipalities enough budget by adjusting the allocation of budget so that we ensure that our municipalities are able to create an environment that create jobs and also develop our rural areas in terms of infrastructure, agriculture. We know agriculture is a big economic zone in rural areas. So we need to make sure that our people in rural areas are actually participating in agriculture in order to create jobs. But more importantly, we must connect our rural areas with major cities so that investors are able to go and invest in areas like KwaZulu-Natal, Ejozini, without having a problem or an issue with infrastructure. So if we develop rural areas, we strongly believe that we will be able to overcome some challenges faced by major cities, the issue of houses in major cities. I can tell you, I'm one of those people. When I finished my degree, I would have loved to work in Wanongoma, where I come from. But because there were no opportunities, I had to migrate to an urban area, Durban, as I am now, for opportunities. So we are saying our government will ensure that we empower people where they are in rural areas by creating an enabling environment and ensure that we create opportunities for jobs. But also, we strongly believe that we need to give Amakosi that respect in rural areas, as Action SA. So our government will create a strong bond Amakosi, but also ensuring that we look at legislation and regulation to ensure that there's a meaningful role Amakosi plays in our government. They're also able to play oversight on our councils, because currently Amakosi are expected to attend council meetings, but for what? They can't even have a say in those council meetings. So we are saying we need to look in terms of how we ensure Amakosi play a big role in what we do as government. I must say, in closing, we did host a conference on the 12th to the 14th of September, and we engaged South Africans and other South Africans and how we can design our policies. And I'm very happy that moving forward, we will work together with a team to put together the manifesto, which will communicate with our residents in KwaZulu-Natal. We will be traveling all over the province to send our message of hope, message of change, because we believe there is need for change in this province. And Herman did say earlier, we only have 4 councillors in eThekwini. We only have 3 councillors in Newcastle and only 6 in Duguza. But we have a strong team. Outside that, we have a strong team on the ground. We have grown our membership in the province, and we strongly believe that we are ready for the election. We are ready to be on the ground. And I must say, this is very important. I understand there are discussions at national level about a possible coalition arrangement with other parties. And in KZN, I also believe that we will drop the ANC below 50%. And the marching orders from President, one of them was to remove the ANC out of power. And I have no doubt that we will work hard as Action SA, and we'll also work hard that we're able to form strong government. I'm not here to be in opposition next year, no. We are working to be in government. But when I'm saying be in government, I'm also realistic that we will need to form coalition with other parties. But I can say now and clear, at no stage I will want to negotiate the ANC. I don't want to negotiate the ANC. They mustn't waste their time as well. All I can say is those individuals in the ANC who believe they have integrity and they are honest, they are welcome to join us. But not to expect to work with criminal syndicates. ANC is criminal syndicates. The entire system is rotten and is beyond repairs. So there's no way as Action SA will work with the ANC, but we're open to work with other parties. We're happy to engage with them. And I can assure President in closing that we will put a motion, as you asked, to rename a Ethekwini municipality under Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. And as well, we'll also engage with the parties to ensure that next year, because we'll be in government, it's not if, we'll be in government, we will make sure that those who work with us in a coalition arrangement next year, we move legislature back to Ulundi, where there's a building, and we believe that it's possible under circumstances. I thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you to our newly announced KwaZulu-Natal provincial premier candidate, the provincial chairperson of this province for Action SA. May I get Ahmed to come through and give us a quick photo, thanks.
No question.
Yeah, we're going to take it. Don't worry.
No questions.
Yeah, no, we are going to do this after I give the vote of thanks.
Can't be like Cyril, we have to take questions.
Yeah, no.
Good day. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Herman Mashaba, the team to come from Gauteng. I would also like to thank everyone attending today's announcement, especially the media. The appointment of Zwakele as our premier candidate is a moment only in KZN for a country, for KZN and for the country as a whole. We have got a leader that will be able to make a difference in this province. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sweet, thank you. Colleagues and the media, please don't be alarmed when we call our president by name. He doesn't want to have a hangover the day that he vacates office and he's still waiting for us to say president. He's quite comfortable with his name. You know, when you've got public officials, once they start calling you chairperson, it's hard to let go of being called chairperson and MMC and MP and all of those things. So we're trying to come up with new culture here. So please don't be alarmed. It's not a sign of disrespect. It's just a culture that we are trying to imbue here in this party that, you know, people first and titles after. So thank you very much for your remarks, Mr. Zwakele Mncwango. We're very, very proud to have a leader of your caliber and your commitment, working very hard with our ground troops here in KZN. We really believe in your leadership, and we think that there absolutely was no better choice than yourself. And you have our full support as the Senate and as the entire organization of Action SA. I think that you are really among the cream of the crop among us, and you give us great hope, and you also inspire us to do more. Ladies and gentlemen, the members of the media are now open for a Q&A. Please state the house or the organization you represent, and also the person to whom you are directing your question. I do hope that you will direct most of your questions to a newly announced premier candidate. With a show of hands, I'm going to take a couple of rounds. I'm going to take 3 hands at a time. Then after that, we will go with it until we have exhausted our time together. By a show of hands, you're welcome to ask your questions. Unless Zwakele has already answered them in his speech.
All covered.
It looks like we've covered.
Is everybody covered? It looks like everybody's covered.
It was clear.
Okay, perfect. That was clear. Well done. You see what we meant by caliber. So yeah, if you can assist us, Sane, with the questions. Okay, I have the gentleman at the back. Also, what will happen is, I know that you may not want to ask them here. You may want to do one-on-ones. We are available for one-on-ones. Zwakele will be available for one-on-ones after we've closed this plenary. All right, please go ahead, sir.
Sabelo from the newspaper. Mr. Mashaba, judging by the result of the 2021 local government elections, do you regret your decision not to contest in all the municipalities here in KZN? Thanks.
I was about to say Sabelo Yabiz for Zwakele, but that didn't happen. It's going to Mr. Mashaba. Anyone else?
That's a good question.
No.
Okay. Awesome. Mr. Mashaba?
I think it's a very, very good question, Sabela. I think I can tell you the biggest mistake Action SA would have made was to try and really run before we could crawl. I'm a very strong believer in starting small. I can give you a practical example. I think the factory where I started Black Like Me in 1985 was about this size. This is roughly 200 square meter factory with my wife and 2 partners, and employ 1 person and so forth. Within a year, we occupied 5 of this kind of units, employing close to 80 people. 2nd of February 1990, when FW de Klerk announced the unbanning of political parties and so forth, I'd already built my own factory, just over 6,000 square meters, and we were expanding, employing close to 250, 300 people. So I know how to crawl and so forth. So I'm always honest. It's in my DNA to be practical and be realistic in what one can achieve. So when Action SA was launched on the 28th of August 2020, during COVID, honestly would have been the biggest mistake we could ever make. And I honestly had to really convince our Senate. I had to convince South Africans, not only here in KZN, people of Mfuleni, people of Mohale City, people of Rustenburg wanted us to contest everywhere. And we had to plead with them that it is not out of disrespect or not having confidence with them. It is about really be strategic and really be realistic what we can achieve. So without any doubt, I'm actually so grateful that we managed to get South Africans to buy into this dream, because it was a realistic, practical approach. It is for that reason that we achieved status of being the 6th biggest political party, contesting as a logo, because IEC tried to play some tricks on us, but 550,000 people voted for us. And I know one of the electoral analysts did a study after the election, actually realized that because of contesting as a logo, Action SA lost 60,000 votes. So we don't really regret, but fortunate enough, building up to 2024, as much as, yes, it's not enough time, like other political parties which are already over 100 years, we're contesting with them. We're contesting with political parties that have been there before 1994. But one thing I can assure you, South Africans, Action SA come 2024, we are going to be a serious player. Right now, we are going for an outright win. Though, is it realistic? Is it achievable? I think we need to really be honest with ourselves. We don't have much time. We need to convince the 27 million South Africans who've checked out of politics to come back into the system. I don't really believe we can achieve it this time around. But what are the chances of us being the 2nd or the 3rd largest political party? If we become the 3rd largest political party in South Africa, I'll be devastated myself. I'll be devastated, because I have a team, we're working as a team to emerge in the top 3. We cannot achieve less than that. And that will then allow us to really be in government, because fortunate enough, all actioners throughout the country, we are not in this game to be in opposition. I'm not looking for a job to be a member of parliament. Because tell me, what can I achieve as a member of parliament? I'll just really get a salary and fly to Cape Town and so forth. No, we are in politics to be in government. Because when we're in government, that's when we believe we can make a difference in the lives of our people.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Mashaba. Is that the end of it?
No,
Okay.
covered.
No?
No covered.
No. No, it's covered. Okay. Well, there is an opportunity, colleagues, if you do want to have one-on-ones, we are welcoming you to do that. Let me thank each and every one of you for being here. Thank you for arriving at this venue amidst this morning's complications. We're very grateful for that. We're also grateful to the KZN team who have always been supportive of these processes. Thank you so much, colleagues, for arriving so early in the morning to make sure that this venue was proper.